Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Techie Code Buddy. I hope you all are doing extremely well and your placement preparation is also going well. Well guys, in this video we are going to solve the questions that were asked on 6th of July 2024 in Exchanger, right? So we will be solving the questions from technical assessment as well as from cognitive ability. So make sure to watch the video till the very end because each and every question was asked in the exam, right? So let's start with the video now. But before proceeding further, if you are new to this channel and if you find this video useful, then do hit the subscribe button and share the video with your friends as well. All right. So this is a very first question, and we are starting from network and cloud security, right? So Salesforce is an example of which of the following type of cloud service, cloud-based services. Okay, so there are various services like SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. So SaaS stands for software as a service, IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service, and PaaS stands for platform as a service. Right now, it is asking for Salesforce is an example of so software as a service. Salesforce is the example of software as a service. I will explain how. Because Salesforce is a software that provides us various type of services like Google Drive that provides us the service of storage, right? So these type of software that provides the various services on cloud. So these comes under in the software as a service, right? So let's come on to the next question. So the next question is, as per which of the following essential characteristics of cloud the hosted application should be reachable via any network-based appliances. So as per the following characteristics of cloud. So these four are the cloud characteristics. Now you have to tell that the hosted application should be reachable via any network-based appliances. So it should be done with the help of broad network access because it means that with the help of multiple devices we can serve the internet, right? We can take the benefit of internet from various devices like laptop and computer, desktop, PC, etc., right? Your mobile, so you can access. So broad network access is helpful. Now let me explain both of the questions in detail. Okay, so there are multiple examples of SaaS like Google, Salesforce, IBM, NetSuite, then PaaS, so Force.com and Long Jump, etc. Then IaaS, these are some examples. So SaaS stands for software as a service, IaaS stands for infrastructure as a service, and PaaS stands for platform as a service. If you want to learn about these, because the questions will come from this topic for sure, so you can Google the topics like SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, and Java T point article are really useful for that. You can go through that. Right now, the next explanation about these are the four services uh, of cloud, right? So these are the essential characteristics of cloud, like on-demand self-service. What does it mean? This allows users to provision computing resource automatically as needed without human intervention. But the question was asking for like we can access from multiple devices. So what characteristics is useful? So that is broad network access, as it enables access to cloud services over the internet from wide range of devices like laptop, smartphone, tablets, as per I mentioned earlier, right? And you can refer these two characteristics as well because uh, this time the question was asked from broad network access, but might be at your time the question will ask from on-demand self-service. So you have to be sure that you have the proper knowledge about all of the four, right? So that's why I have put the screenshot of each of the characteristics so you can refer, and I will put this PPT in my Telegram group. So do join the Telegram group for the free study material. Okay. So the third question is just a minute. The third question is, in which of the following type of hardware virtualization the guest software run their own isolated domain? So what is virtualization? Kind of own environment, right? So we are not using the actual environment, but we have developed our own environment. So it is considered as virtualization. Now the guest software run their own isolated domain. So it comes under in the category of para virtualization. Now let's see what is para virtualization. So, para-virtualization, where the guest apps are executed in their own isolated domains as if they are running on a separate system, but a hardware environment is not simulated, right? So now let me uh, explain about this. Which of the following are the PaaS characteristics that define it as a cloud service? So it stands for platform as a service. So there will be a platform which provides you different services, like you can deploy your product, you can test your product, you can develop your product, or I can say project or software. And it will allow you to build your product, it will allow the different type of web services. This is all about like PaaS, right? What it is, platform as a service, right? So it will gives you different types of services, and all these services are comes under the category of PaaS. So all 1, 2, and 3 will be the answer. Now, apart from these characteristics, there are multiple characteristics of PaaS. So I have discussed here like development framework. So it will allow you different types of tools and frameworks to build, test, or deploy your applications or software. Database management, because whenever you are building a software, you must be need the database. So it will allow you to use database management as well. Middleware services, application hosting, integrated development environment like IDE, scalability, like if you want to expand it, you can do, and security and compliance, service integration. So there are multiple characteristics of PaaS, that is platform as a services. You can have a look on this. This will be really useful for you, right? So let's move on to the next question. The next question is, data availability as a security service is threatened by which of the following type of attack? So data availability means that whenever you are you want to access your data, that data should be available, right? So suppose you want to access your bank account at night 2 a.m., right? So it should be available at that time. That doesn't mean like everyone is sleeping this time, so the bank account will not be available. No, it should be available, and this is called data availability. Now, what can be threatened, right? With the sorry, which attack can be threatened to the data availability? So it will be denial of service attack, which means that our server is too much busy in responding to the request, but it is kind of attack. Suppose Google, right? So suppose Google has been hacked, and it is getting lots of requests from the different from one client only, who will be the attacker, but it will look like that multiple clients are requesting Google to provide the services, like to give some responses, right? So it will be the denial of service attack. Now, there are multiple types of security attacks. You should know. Masquerade is what? Suppose this is Alice and this is Bob, right? So, and this is attacker. So attacker is sending messages to Bob, but Bob is thinking that messages are coming from Alice. So that means that attacker will show that yes, it is a genuine entity who is sending messages, but Alice even don't know that he sent the message or not. But the thing is that attacker sent the message, so this type of attack called as masquerade. Now, modification of messages means, so again, this is Alice and this is Bob. In between there is an attacker, right? So Alice sent message, hi Bob, but attacker modify the message, so he will modify it like, I will kill you, right? And this message will forward to Vogue, so it can be a problem. So this type of attack called as modification of messages. Now, repudiation. What does repudiation means? Suppose Alice has sent to the message to Vogue, but now Alice is denying that he didn't send any message. So this comes under in the category of repudiation. So these type of attacks are really very important in cloud network security. But the answer of this question will be denial of service attack. Now let me explain the each attack one by one. So this is the proper explanation. You can have a look. I have explained in short, right? So you can take the screenshot or you can refer the same PPT. Okay. Now let's come into the next question. The given IP address belongs to which of the following IP class? So there are 5 classes in IP address. So it is 10.50.13.40. So it comes under in the category of class A, which will start from 0 to 127, right? Then class B starts from 128 to, I guess, 256. So let me see here. uh, it will be on 191. So class A will start from 0 and it will goes to 127. Then B 120 to 191. Then C, then D, then E. You can take this. You can take the help of this table. But in exam, The question can come from anywhere, like from class B or class C, but this question belongs to class A, that this IP address belongs to class A. Why? Because it is started from 10 and 10 comes in between 0 and 127. So the answer will be class A. All right. So let's move on to the next question. So the next question is, in which of the following types of cyber text emails as shown in the image are sent to victims? Email. So whenever the attack is related to email, then there is a high chance that it will be a phishing attack. Now let me explain what is phishing. So phishing is a scam where attackers impersonate legitimate entities to trick individuals into revealing sensitive information like passwords or credit card. So what will happen is you will be getting lots of emails and it will be look like that they are genuine and you will easily share your passwords, your credentials, and it will be a kind of attack, so you can get hacked. Right now, what is man in the middle act? As the name suggests, so an attacker where an attacker intercepts and potentially alters communication between two parties without their knowledge, right? So it's kind of masquerade it's kind of message modification attack, because here attacker is modifying the messages and none of both, neither sender nor receiver is aware of the fact that the message has been altered or modified. Now, what is SQL injection? You can have a look here. Now, let's move on to the next question. Just a minute. The next question is, in ORC reference model, which of the following data unit is exchanged between two transport layers? So whenever the data will start to transport in which layer? On transport layer, right? So it will comes in the form of segments. It will comes in the form of segments. From physical layer, it will start from bit, then it will be converted into frame. Then when it will be on the transport layer, so it will be converted into segments, right? So let's have a look that on physical layer the data will start from bit, right? Then on the data link layer, that means on layer 2, it will be converted into frame, or we can say data frame. Now in the network layer, it will be converted into packets, right? Just a minute. It will be converted into packets, and on the fourth layer it will be converted into segments, and after that the data will be considered as a data only, right? Till these four layers, the data will be in bits, frames, packets, and segments. So the question can be from maybe network layer, that on network layer data calls as, so it will be packet, right? So let's move on to the next question. IP version 6 protocol is implemented on which of the following layer of OSI model? So IP version 6. There are two types of IP version 4, IP version 6. So it is internet protocol. So internet protocol is implemented on the network layer. So network layer will be the correct answer for this question. Right. So the next question is, in a 2's complement representation, what is the binary equivalent of the decimal number -5? So 5 binary code will be according to 8421. This is the shortcut trick. I always mention in my pseudocodes video, right? So how can we make 5? 4 plus 1 will be 5, rest can be 0. So this is the binary code of 5. Or if we are using 3 bits representation, so I can take it like 101, because there is no any use of this 0, right? So I can take like this is the binary representation of 5, but we have to tell the -5. So -5, it is a sign, right? So sign can be represented with the help of 0 or 1 again. So if you have to represent minus signs, you will be using 1, and if you have to use positive signs, you will be referring 0. So here we need to use here we have to represent minus, so we will be taking as minus. So it will be denoted that this is -5, right? So -5, 1, 1, 0, 1 will be the correct answer, and the first bit is of sign bit, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is not a bitwise shift operation in programming? And all these questions, previous question as well, they were previously asked, and these questions are asked on 6th of July, and all these questions are on campus. Okay, don't comment like that these are so easy, this cannot be true, or like that. These questions are actual questions, and these are from on campus. Okay, Which of the following is not a bitwise shift operation in programming? Left shift, yes. Bitwise. Right shift, yes. Bitwise. Rotate left is also bitwise. How? And maybe you don't know about rotate left, so let me explain. Rotate left is a bitwise operation that shifts the widths of its operand to the left, with the widths that are shifted out from the most significant bit, or we can say leftmost bit, being inserted back into the least significant bit. So, for example, if you have an 8 binary number like this, and you have to perform rotate left operation, so the result will be, it will be rotated to the left. So the result will be from this, right? 0, 1, 1 1 0 1 1, right? And this will be rotated, so it will be at this side on the left, so the answer will be this, right? Okay, so again this is also a bitwise operation. So what is left here? Logical shift. This is not a bitwise operation. Okay, so the next question is, what is the purpose of default case in switch statement? So we use switch in C, C++ type of language, right? So what is the use case of default case? So it will be executed only when no any case is matching, right? That's why we use default case, and it's not mandatory at all to use default case. But if you are using, so that means that if no any case is matching with our scenario or with our input, so it will run, right? So the answer will be it's executed when no other cases match. So option number B will be the correct answer for this question. All right, so let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what is recursion in the context of function execution? Right. So what is recursion? Recursion is a function is calling itself again and again, right, to solve a particular problem like factorial problem. And we can use a Tower of Hanoi problem, and there are various type of problem using recursion we can solve. So what will be the answer? A function that calls itself to solve a problem. Option number third will be the correct answer for this question. All right. So the next question is from pseudocodes, which will what will be the output of the following code? Hash include stereo test int main, and for I equals to 0, I less than 10. So pause the video and try to guess the answer. I hope you guess it, and the answer will be syntax error. Why? Because here we are using I, but never we mentioned int I, or we didn't initialize, and even we didn't declare that we will use I. So it will gives an error. It will be a syntax error, like, and the error will be I was not declared in the scope, right? You can see that here in the for loop, I was not declared in the scope. Then again in the printf function, it will say that I was not declared in the scope. So this will be the syntax error. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Again, the pseudo code, and it is quite easy. Int main, we have int equals to 10. Let me write it here. A equals to 10, B equals to 20. Now, if A equals to 9 and, so consider it as a logical AND. So AND condition work like, if both of the operands are 1 and 1, then only that case it will return as 1, right? So A equals to 9. So 10 equals to 9, so it will be false only. So if it is false, so we don't need to check further because we have to deal with AND. So it will work only when the both inputs are 1 and 1. Right, so it will be false. We will come here in this if part. So if A equals to 10, so yes, 10 equals to 10, or right, B equals to 21. So in or, if any of the operand is 1, so the resultant will be 1 only. So yes, it will return as 1. So we don't need to check further. We will come here in the print part, and it will print theater. So theater will be printed, and it will be our correct answer. All right, so let's move on to the next question. The next question is, in a for loop, what is the role of the loop control variable? So loop control variable is used for how much time, like whether the loop will be executed to the next time. It will be checking for the loop that it is going to be executed to the next time or not. So the answer will be to determine whether the loop should continue or not, right? So the option number D will be the correct answer for this question. All right, so let's move on to the next question. So, what will be the behavior of this given loop? Void main, and this is int num assign 0, then do while loop. So, do while loop will execute at least on, yes, once. Okay, so it will be minus minus nums. That means we have to decrement num. So it will be minus 1 this time, but it is not yet assigned. Right now here it will be print num. So this time it will be printed as minus 1. Now from here we are implemented the num value. So it will be minus 1 plus 1. Right, so it will be 0. Now here we have to check for the condition in the while loop that 0 is greater than equals to 0. Yes, the condition is true. We will again go into the do while loop. So it will be decremented. So 0 will be decremented again. So it will be minus 1. Now we need to print. So we will print minus 1 again. So num plus plus. So it will be incremented to 0 only. Here again it will check for the condition. So same condition is repeating again and again and again and again, and it will never be stopped because the condition will be always matched or the condition will be always true. So the answer will be that it will be the infinite loop. So the loop will run infinite number of times, or you can check it on the compiler, right? So let's move on to the next question. The next question is, which file extension is commonly associated with the Windows batch script? So .bat. .bat is the extension that is used for association of Windows batch scripts. So .bat will be the correct answer for this question. .exe is the executable file, or .doc is it's not the correct extension, like because in MS Word we use now docs, right? So HTML used for storing the HTML file. Okay, so let's move on to the next question now. Which popular web browser uses a rendering engine called Blink? So on some website, the answer is Microsoft Edge and Chrome both. But after lots of research, I got to know that Google Chrome is the correct answer, and this is the and some other answers here as well. We have that Google Chrome use Blink, Internet Explorer browser use Trident, Mozilla Firefox Gecko, and Chrome for iOS and Safari use WebKit. Right? So this is the answer. Now the next is, computers manipulate data in many ways, and this manipulation is called data processing. Right? Computers manipulate data in many ways, and it is called data processing, or we can say processing. Right? This is the explanation here. You can have a look on that. All right, so let's move on to the next question. The next question is, what does HTTP dot slash slash in a web URL stand for? So this HTTP is a protocol, and the full form of this protocol is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So it will be Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Option number D will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Which of the following is the acronym for reusable optical storage? So RW. RW is the acronym for reusable optical storage, will be the correct answer. And here you can see the explanation. And this question was available online as well. Exact same question was available online. So it will be the answer, like rewritable. Okay. So the next question is, in Microsoft Excel, what function would you use to calculate the future value of an investment based on a series of regular payments? So there are multiple types of functions, like statistical function, mathematical function, financial function, and other function as well in MS Excel. So what type of function, what function we can use for regular payments in terms of investment? So this is FB function, right? FB function we can use, and rest functions are denoted here. FB is the correct answer. That is the financial function that calculates the future value of an investment based on a constant rate, interest rate. And rest functions are these: NPV, rate value, and we have to pass multiple values. So it will calculate the net present value of an investment based on a series of cash flows and discount rate. PV calculates the present value of an investment or loan given a series of future payments and interest rate. PMT, it will calculate the payment for a loan or investment based on the constant payments or consistent interest, right? So you can have a look on these, because next time maybe the question can be from PV or NPV or PMT. Okay. So the next question is, codes consisting of lines of varying width or length that are computer readable are known as barcode, right? What is barcode? This is the definition. A pattern of thick and thin lines that is printed on things you buy. It contains information that a computer can read, and this is barcode, right? Generally, we see on various products there are different types of barcodes. So this barcode can be read by computers. Okay. The next question is, what is the default file extension for Microsoft Word document created in Word 2016 or later? So it is now Docs, right? DOCX. So it will be the correct answer for this question. All right. So the next question is, now we will be solving the questions from cognitive ability, right? We have done with technical. Now we will be solving the questions from cognitive. So this is a question from analogy. So triangle, then square. So pentagon. So triangle, it is like this. Square is this, and pentagon is like uh, five uh, five edges will be there, and hexagon is like this, right? So three edges, four edges, five edges, and six edges. So hexagon will be the correct answer. Option number D will be the right answer. Okay, so the next question is now coding decoding. If visit, right? If visit is written as TISIV, so wheel will be coded as. So we can identify the pattern that the cross pattern is there. T is coming here, then I is coming here, then S is here. S is here only in the straight line. I is here and V is here. So it is a diagonal cross pattern. Now let's understand for wheel. Sorry, it should be W, H, E, and L. So L will come here, then E will come here, then E will be in the straight line, then H will come here and W. So L, E, E, H, W. L, E, E, H, W. So it will be the correct answer. Option number B will be the right answer for that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question now. Choose the odd one out, and rectangle, oval, rhombus, square. So rectangle consists of edges, rhombus is also consist of edges, square is also consist of edges, but oval doesn't have any kind of edge, and it's shaped like this, right? Yes. So this is oval, so it will be the odd one out. Now again the question from analogy. So oval, egg. Okay. Oval shape is of egg, right? Egg is of oval shape. Now, which product, or I can say, which thing is of rhombus shape among these? Kite, notebook, mobile, or bottle? So yes, rhombus is of like this type, right? So it will be the shape of kite only. So kite will be the correct answer for this question. I hope it is clear. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The question is now from statement and conclusion, and here there will be a statement and there will be some conclusion, and you have to consider that statement as a universal truth. Apart from that statement, you will not consider anything from your own mind. Students generally face many different types of difficulties and confusion in solving these type of questions. But the thing is only that whatever is in your statement, just you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, so the statement is, some philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers. We are saying that some philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers, but that doesn't mean that we are saying that some are not prolific, some are prolific writers, right? The statement is saying only this. We are talking about some only, not apart from some. So keep in mind that some philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers. Now conclusions are, being a prolific writer does not guarantee being a philosophical thinker. So it is saying that some philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers. So same thing is saying here that being a prolifical writer does not guarantee being a philosophical thinker, because here we are talking about some philosophical only, that some are prolific writers, but if someone is prolific writer, that doesn't guarantee that it will be a philosophical thinker as well. So it will follows for sure. Now let's check for the next. All philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers. Here, see, here we have talked about only about some, didn't talk about all, so we will not use our own mind. It will be don't follow directly, because we have the fact only about the some philosophical thinkers that are not prolific writers, but we will not use our own mind that all philosophical thinkers are not prolific writers or not. So only conclusion one will be the correct answer for this question. Let's move on to the next question. Now the next question is seven boxes A, B, C, D, E, F and G are kept on one another, not necessarily in the same order, alright. There are only two boxes under C. Okay, so there are total seven boxes and there are only two boxes under C. So let me draw. So suppose this is our box C, right? This is our box C. So there are only two boxes under C. So let's consider that this is our box number third, which is C. And now there are three boxes between D and C. So if it is C, so there are three boxes in between D and C. So one box, two box, three box. And let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Total will be 7. Now what it is saying, there are three boxes between D and C. So C is here. So three boxes, one box, two box, three boxes. So that means D box will be the outer box. Okay. F box is kept on the fifth from bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means F will be here from the bottom. G and E have two boxes in between them. G and E. So this space is left and here this space is left and this space is left. So G and E have two boxes in between them, right? So G can be here or F can be here and G can be here or F can be here. B is not just below D. B is not just below D. That means we will be taking B as here. Right now, which box is kept on the top? So it is asking for top. So we have already found out that on the top we will be having D. So D box will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. So now let's move on to the next question. The question is from data sufficiency, and in this type of questions, we all are needed to just answer the question with the help of the statements. And apart from that, we don't use our mind, right? So how many children are there in the row of children facing north? There is a row of children. So we have to tell how many children are there who are facing north. Okay. With the help of these statements, we have to tell. First of all, we have to check whether first statement is enough to answer. Now we will, if it is not, so we will be checking. So, sorry, if it is or if it is not. In both of the cases, we will check for further as well whether the next statement is sufficient or to answer or not. So if both are sufficient, so we will be saying that both are alone sufficient, right? If both are combinedly sufficient, we will say that both are combinedly sufficient. Whatever will be the case, we will answer accordingly. Okay. Now understand, we have to tell how many children are there who are sitting or who are standing in a row are facing north. Okay. So the statement 1 is Vishakha, who is fifth from the left end, is eighth to the left of Ashish, who is 12th from the right end. So you see, there is no anything about, they didn't mention about that in which direction they are facing. Right, so it will not be enough because we don't know in which direction they are facing. Maybe they are facing in the east, maybe they are facing in the north, maybe they are facing in the west or south, right? It can be anything. So we are not sure, or the data is not sufficient, so we will not mark it. We will check for further. Rohit is the fifth to the left of Nisha, who is seventh from the right end and 18th from the left end. Again, there is no talk about the direction in which they are facing, right? So both are not sufficient. So we will mark that neither one or not two will be is sufficient. Neither one, nahi to one enough hai, nahi two enough hai. So it will be the answer that because in these both of the statement there is no any talk about direction in which the students are facing or the children are facing. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Next question is from blood relationship, a very important topic for all your placements. Sara is the sister of Manoj. So suppose he is Manoj, right? Sara is the sister of Manoj. So she is Sara, and here it is saying sister. So it is denoting the gender. So we will mark the gender as feminine gender. We will mark as minus sign, right? Manoj is the father of Sanya. So if it is father, so he must be male. right? With the help of name only, you will not decide that whether the person is female or male, right? If the question is denoting the gender of the specific person, then only you will mark the answer. Then only you will mark the gender of that male or female, right? So Manoj is the father, so he must be male, father of Tanya. So Tanya will be either son or daughter, right? With the help of this name, we can identify that she must be daughter, but we don't know because there are some names like Alex. We cannot define whether it is a boy or a girl. So that's why until and unless the question is not defining the gender of a particular person, we will not mark the gender. Right? So Tanya, Manoj is the father of Tanya, but yet Tanya's gender is not defined. Now Kavita is the mother of Sarah. So she is Sarah. So Kavita is the mother of Sarah. So if Kavita is the mother, so she must be feminine, right? Or she must be female. How is Tanya related to Kavita? Okay. So how is Tanya related to Kavita? How is Tanya related to Kavita? Okay, so Kavita is the mother of Sarah and Sarah is the sister of Manoj. So they are siblings, and if they are siblings, so Kavita will be the mother of Manoj. Now, if Manoj is the father of Tanya, so Kavita will be the grandmother of Tanya, right? But the question is asking how Tanya is related to Kavita. So she will be the grandmother. Now you can say that we didn't mention the gender, female or male, but according to the question, there is no any option cannot be determined. If there is option cannot be determined, so we will mark the cannot be determined. But as we have only four options and all the options are defined, so we will mark how is Tanya related to Kavita. So Tanya must be the granddaughter of Kavita. So it will be the answer. But along with granddaughter, if there is an option cannot be determined, so the answer will be cannot be determined because the question specifically didn't mention the gender of Tanya. Are you getting my point? I hope you got it. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The next question is Ima's father's only sister is married to Devi's brother. So suppose, just a minute, it is Ima, right? I'm just writing E. Ima's father. So I'm writing father as F and he must be male. Ima's father only sister. That means father's only sister. So Ima's aunt, right? So I'm writing as A only. Only sister is married. So if it is sister, so she must be female. Married to David. That means David is the David's brother. Okay, so uh, her husband will be the David's brother, so he is David, right? He is David. How is Emma related to David? Now we have to tell how is Emma. So this person who is the husband of Emma's aunt, so this person will be called as uncle, right? So uncle's brother will be uncle only. So how is Emma related to David? Now we have to tell Emma relation to David. So we don't know the gender of even David and Emma. So we will write that none of the mentioned will be the answer because Emma cannot be aunt because Emma is the child of this, or we can say that Emma is the nephew or niece, right? Nephew or niece because we don't know the gender of Emma, so it is not yet decided. So we will mark that none of the mentioned will be the correct answer. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. And there are there's an argument, and based on that argument, there are two assumptions. Now we have to tell that which assumption is practical. Okay, so legalizing recreational marijuana will decrease crime rate. So marijuana is a kind of, I can say, weed or drugs, right? So legalizing recreational marijuana will decrease crime rates. So for decreasing crime rates, we are legalizing this marijuana, right? Now there are two assumptions. Legalizing marijuana reduces the black market for the drug, consequently lowering associated criminal activities. So we have to reduce the criminal rates. So it can be practical, right? So we will mark here. People mostly commit crimes while drugged with marijuana. So About people activity, there is nothing mentioned in our argument that how people react after taking marijuana is the drug or like that. So if it is not mentioned anywhere in the argument, so we will not consider it. And only this is the practical that we want, according to the argument, we want to reduce the crime rate. And same thing is happening here, that if we legalize the marijuana drug in the black market, so it will not be easily available, so we can easily reduce the crime rate. So yes, it is practically possible. So option number A or assumption 1 is only practical, it will be possible, right? So let's move on to the next question. Now the next question again from blood relationship. If Alex's son is Kate's brother, so suppose he is Alex or she is Alex, maybe Alex's son is Kate's brother. So son, okay, so he must be male because he is son. Is Kate's brother. So suppose he or she is Kate and this son is the brother of this, right? So it can be male or it can be female. Kate can be male or Kate can be female. Okay. What is the relationship between Alex and Kate? So Alexson is Kate's brother. So Alexson is Kate's brother. Okay. What is the relationship between Alex and Kate? So Alex will be the one of parents of the Kate. But it is not yet determined that whether she will be mother or he will be the father. Right. So cannot be determined will be the answer because we don't know the gender of Alex. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Next question is there is an statement, and based on that statement, we need to tell that whether the conclusion is followed or not. Okay, so statement is some world class athletes have overcome significant injuries. So only keep in mind that we are talking about some only. So some world class athletes have overcome significant injuries, right? Now conclusions are injuries can lead to impairment of some body part. See, in the statement, we never talk about any body part or any kind of impairment or disability, right? So it will not be our answer. Now the next is overcoming significant injuries is not a barrier to becoming a world class athlete. Of course, it is not a barrier. That's why even after having some significant injuries, some people are world class athletes, right? So we can say that yes, injuries are not a barrier to become a world class athlete. So it will be the correct answer for this question. Conclusion 2 follows will be the right answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So the next question is statement is only individuals with a keen sense of humor appreciate absurd comedy. So the person who has a keen sense of humor will only absurd comedy. Okay, so the prerequisite to appreciate absurd comedy is that you should have the keen sense of humor. Right now, the conclusion is Jack does not appreciate absurd comedy, hence, he does not have a keen sense of humor. So, if he is not appreciating absurd comedy, because it is the prerequisite to appreciate absurd comedy, you should have a keen sense of humor. So, if Jack is not having, that's why he is not appreciating the absurd comedy. Right now, the next is Yuki appreciate absurd comedy but does not have a keen sense of humor. So it is absolutely wrong because no one without keen sense of humor can uh, appreciate this what absurd comedy, right? So if Yuki appreciate absurd comedy without having keen sense of humor. No one can appreciate absurd comedy because it is the only prerequisite, right? So option number A, that Jack does not appreciate absurd comedy, hence he does not have a keen sense of humor. It will be the correct answer. Only one conclusion follows, right? So let's move on to the next question. The question is there's an argument and we have to tell which assumption is practical. Okay, so implementing a universal basic income will eradicate poverty. So we want to eradicate poverty or to reduce poverty. So what we will doing, we will be implementing a universal income. So everybody will be having some kind of income, right? There will be a certain income, so everybody will be having. So in that terms, we can say that we are somehow reducing the poverty. Assumptions are people with high job profiles should be paid more. So we didn't talk about people who have some high job profiles should be right. So in this argument, we didn't talk about high job profiles people. So it cannot be our answer. So the next is providing a guaranteed income to all citizens will address basic needs and lift individuals out of poverty. Yes, same thing we are saying in the argument that if we provide some kind of income, some fixed income, so we can eradicate the poverty. So the same thing we are saying here, that providing a guaranteed income or a fixed income for all the citizens. So this is how we can overcome on our basic needs and we can lift individuals out of the poverty. So option number B, only assumption second is practical, right? So let's move on to the next question. Now the questions will be start from verbal ability. I know the video is quite long, but it is a complete paper, right? So it will take time. Okay, so find the antonym of detailed. So detailed means like elaborative, right? Elaborative, well explained and well detailed. I can say a long paragraph. We can say like in detail we have to tell. So the antonym will be concisely or brief, right? So option number D, brief will be the correct answer. Trial, to try something, right? Or for just maybe for one trial or two trial. And explicit is again a detailed version. Elaborate is again a detail. So brief will be the correct answer for this question. So this will be the answer brief. Okay. Let's move on to the next. So the question, okay, this question is from reasoning. 8 girls are sitting around a circular table. So I'm creating the chart as like this. There are 4 people, then now 6, then now 8. Oh, the diagram is quite dismissed. Okay, let me make it again. My drawing is not that much good. So there are till four people. Now they are 6, and now hmm, now they are 8. Yes, now it is okay. So the thing is, J sits third to the left of N, and all are facing in the center, right? So all are facing in the center. Let me make their positions. J sits third to the left of N. So suppose I fix the position of N from here, so it will be easy for me. J sits third to the left of N. So left will be this side, right? So third, 1, 2, 3. So J must be sitting here. Now Q sits third to the right of N and opposite to P. Q sits third to the right of N. So right of N will be here. Now Q sits third to the right, 1, 2, 3. So Q sits must be here and opposite to P. So opposite to P, so P must be there. All right. Now M sits between J and P. So J is here, P is here. So M must be sitting in between of these and opposite to K. So opposite will be K here. L is sitting opposite to J. So L is sitting here. Now what is Q's position? So among these options next to J. So what is left? O is left only. Okay. So next to J, no. Q is not next to J. So third to the left of M. So M is here. So left will be this side, right? So third, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it will be the correct answer. Third to the left of M will be the right answer for this question. Okay. Let's move on to the next question now. Statement is all mathematicians are logicians. So the question is from syllogism. All mathematicians. So all mathematicians are logicians. So who are mathematicians? Are logicians. But we are not saying that who are logicians. Sorry, who are, we are saying that who are magicians will be logicians, but we are not saying that all the logicians will be mathematicians, right? Conclusion is some logicians are mathematicians. So some logicians, these value logicians are mathematicians, right? So it will be correct. Now all logicians are mathematicians. See, all logicians are not mathematicians. It is not guarantees. It can be or it can be not. So wherever we get the possibility and we are not sure, so we will mark the answer as no, because all logicians are mathematician. It is not uh, I can say it is not guaranteed. It's only a possibility. So if there is option that wants certain answer, so the certain answer will be no. So only conclusion first follow will be the correct answer for this question. I hope it is clear to you. Right. So let's move on to the next question. If Sushant's husband is Jenny's brother, so suppose it is Sushant's husband. Okay, so husband. So if it is male, so she must be female. Husband is Jenny's brother, so he is Jenny's brother. So now who is Jenny to Sushant? Who is Jenny to Shushan. So, uh, that, see here the gender of Jenny is not determined, but according to the question, we don't have any option, cannot be determined. So we will mark as this like Jenny. So she must be kind of female. So the relation between Jenny to Shushan. Who is Jenny to Shushan? So Jenny will be the sister-in-law because she is the sister of her husband. So she will be the sister-in-law of Shushan. So sister-in-law will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, so the next question is find the synonym of assume. Assume means to suppose something or to consider something, right? So suppose will be the correct answer. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So we have to choose the alternative for underlined word. Your husband told me that you gone to the store this morning. So it is not correct. Here we are talking about past tense, right? Just a minute. Here we are talking about past tense because told is the second form of tell. So we will use the second form and gone. Gone is third form. So go second form is went. So it will be you went. Right? You went will be the correct answer. Option number 2 will be the right answer for this. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. The next question is after a long day of work, she enjoyed quiet evening by the fireplace sipping on a cup of herbal tea. So we need to fill with a suitable article. So it will be after a long day of work, she enjoyed a quiet evening by the fireplace sipping on a cup of herbal tea and uh, yeah, okay. So the next is what is the meaning of word generous? So generous means one who is very I can say who is very kind, who is very charitable, right? Who is very kind, who is very charitable, who is really down to the earth person. So it will be the meaning of this. So kindness will be the correct answer of this question. Okay. Now the next is choose the best alternative for the underlying parts of the sentence. Chirag used to have a lot of hobbies, but now he have only one. So it is present tense only. So with he as he is a singular, so we will use has but not have. So he has will be the correct answer. Now he has will be the right answer, right? So let's move on to the last question for today. So the next is arrange the following sentence in a meaningful manner. The guest speaker captivated the audience, sharing insights and experience with a sense of anticipation. The students entered the auditorium. Okay, so the answer, so the thing will start from here only. The students entered the auditorium. So it will be first entered the auditorium, then we will be continuing, right? So with the sense of anticipation, so DC, then A, and then B. D, C, A, B will be the correct answer, option number D, right? So move on to the next question. What is the antonym of word evaluate? So evaluate means to calculate something, to estimate something, right? And we can say like to accept something whenever we are doing some kind of the Hindi meaning of this is mulyankan, right? To estimate something, to calculate something, and we are accepting it, right? In our mathematics as well, we generally say na to evaluate. That means to accept it. So rejection will be the correct answer, or the antonym of this is neglect, reject, ignore, right? So reject will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. The next questions. Find out the wrong part in the sentence. Ria's ability to quickly adapted to new situations impressed his colleagues. It is wrong here, right? It is wrong here. Just a minute. Quickly adapted is wrong here. It should be quickly adapt to new technologies because it is some kind of hobby, right? And hobby cannot be comes in the second form of verb. So quickly, sorry, yes, this is wrong na here. Quickly adapted is wrong here and it should be quickly adapt to. Okay, so the next is you have to arrange the sentences in the meaningful order. Following the winding path, the traveler discovered a hidden oasis surrounded by lush greenery and the soothing sounds of waterfalls. So all are in a perfect manner. It is appropriate. So A, B, C, D only is the correct answer for this question. So yeah, that's all for today from my side. We have solved the questions from cognitive, including verbal ability and reasoning ability, and we solved the question from MS Office as well and from network security, etc. So the video is going to be very helpful for you, I guess. So if it is, then do hit the subscribe button and you can check out the playlist section. You can follow me on the Instagram as well because there I used to upload reels for the placement only, right? So the reels will be informative for you as well. Okay, so we will meet in the next video. Till then, bye bye and take care.